Do you feel like you're barely keeping your head above water? That no matter how hard you try, meaningful progress remains out of reach? Heather gets that. She battled an eating disorder for years before seeking help. Now in recovery, Heather is here to tell you that positive change is possible even when it doesn't feel that way. Join her as she shares openly about her struggles and small triumphs. Fair warning though, Heather doesn't hold back. Her candid story may trigger some. But for those wanting honesty, hope, and healing, this is 1% Better with Heather.
I'm Hello Gaffers and welcome to 1% Better with Heather. I just want to point out today is Super Bowl Sunday and I'm wearing my favorite shirt ever. It says Go Taylor Swift's Boyfriend. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. And on the back it says Swifty. I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan as well. I'm not a huge football person, but I am here for the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. So, yay. Go Taylor Swift's Boyfriend. On today's episode, I want to talk about alcohol. Now, this won't pertain to everybody, especially the minors, but for the adults out there. So, and all I can talk about is my experience, and none of this is going to make me look like a great human being at this point. But hey, I'm here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So, in 2016, I was in a horrible workplace accident that left me with PTSD, an inner ear concussion, vertigo, tinnitus, and a whole other stuff that I didn't ever expect. And that has been hell for going on 8 years. It'll be 8 years this March. And that's where the drinking started coming in. Because I was having night terrors every night and couldn't calm myself down. I was a mess. I was crying all the time. I was scared to get in my car. I couldn't get in my car. Every time I got in my car, I'd get sick because of the motion. I was falling out of my shower constantly. It was a mess. So I started drinking to deal with not sleeping and all that, because if I drank, I could go to sleep. Not to include all the emotional warfare my company put on me, but we'll get into that one day. When the eating disorder really started gaining momentum, the drinking got way worse. I would normally just drink on like Saturday night. I was never like a huge partier through the week. That wasn't my thing. I have kids to look after, take them to school, all that. But as the eating disorder started really snowballing, the drinking really, really revved up. Uh, I would drink. I couldn't. Actually, I can't believe how much I did drink for the size that I was, the size of my pinky. I would drink a 40 of gin in 2 days, and I weighed absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's actually impressive of how much I could take in. Uh, but this started becoming more than just Saturdays. It was Saturdays and Sundays, and that was Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays. And then it was Wednesday, and then it was like long weekend, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it just got to be a mess. I was a mess. And I'm talking about this because I know I'm not the only one going through this. When we are going through our eating disorder and we have slick, our eating disorder voice in our head 24/7, all I was trying to do was turn off the voice. I couldn't hear him anymore. I was going insane. Like I was already insane and I didn't like how I was feeling. I didn't like the thoughts that I was thinking. I I couldn't handle life anymore. I couldn't do it. There were times where I thought, nope, this is it, tapping out. And it's it's hard when you are in the pit of hell and just more things come to you and you think, "Oh, this is a good idea. Maybe I'll go to sleep." Because really that's what I was using it for, was sleep, honestly. And then it becomes a crutch. And then it becomes another beast, right? So I got slick my eating disorder, flick my drinking, whatever, schmick my PTSD, all I got all these voices in my head and I'm only one person. How am I supposed to deal with this every day? And then the drinking became so I could eat because I was so sick. I thought, well, if I drink, that's going to make me hungry and then I could go eat, which really in turn, trust me, nothing stayed around. I'll tell you that part. It just was a bigger mess and a horrible hangover the next morning. I'm saying all this to say because it's very easy in eating disorder recovery. And I remember watching Oprah back in early 2000s. I'm not ragging on Oprah, it's an episode. Carney Wilson was on there, and Carney Wilson's from Wilson Phillips. My generation will know that band. And her dad was Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. And she had gastric sleeve done on TV. I think it was 2000. I want to say that. And it broke the internet at the time. She was the first one to do this live. It was something else to see, right? And a couple years later, she's on Oprah talking about, yeah, so I got this gastric sleeve, so I'm not eating, but then I started drinking and drinking some more and drinking some more. So now you've replaced, like she had a different eating disorder where it was like binge eating and she was obese. I don't like that word, but that's the technical word. And had this weight loss surgery. But now she replaced one devil with another, so to speak. And I'll never forget that episode. I was like, wow, that's something else. Like that's I didn't know that could happen. Yeah, but that makes sense, right? And now in eating disorder recovery, I'm a lot better. I'm a lot better. I've learned to deal with my demons. I've gone to a lot of group therapies, a lot of meetings. I talk about the 12 steps for a reason. My family's been around the 12 steps for a very long time. These 12 steps work. That's why this program's been around for 100 years. But I don't think enough people talk about when they get into eating disorder recovery and they start trying to find something else to numb the pain, to turn off the voice. And yes, now you've gained weight, and that is not fun. I'll be honest. Like, no one likes this stage of it. And you're hearing horrible things about yourself. Your body dysmorphia is off the map. And maybe you're just doing this to make voices stop. Maybe you're me. Maybe that's your reason. Maybe your reason is now you've turned 21 and you want to go out and party. And now you have a whole nother beast. I'm not saying everyone's going to get a drinking problem. I'm not. But what I am encouraging you to do is really, really keep that in your mind right now, that this could be a very possible problem if we haven't dealt with our demons on the level that we should be. If it's just under the surface and you're just like able to get along to go along, that's not full in recovery. We know this, right? So if you're finding that now, and I'm not against anyone who turns, like it's 19 here in Canada. As soon as you turn 19, 18 on Alberta, you can go party your heart out. Go ahead. That is like rite of passage. But most who turn 19 or 18 here in Canada don't have eating disorders and are just going out just to have fun and live their life. I get it. But if you come from this and you already come from a place of addiction, and an eating disorder is an addiction, then the sooner you get that through your head, the better off you're going to be. You will replace it with something else. You can even replace it with cleaning your house over and over again, which I did, or distracting. It's a distraction at any cost, right? When we're not focusing on ourselves and we want to focus on anything else but us, that's when the hurricane starts to form again. So I went through a lot with alcohol. I did. I'm not going to lie. I almost lost my marriage over it. Not only did I have an eating disorder, now I have PTSD and all this other stuff that I didn't have before. And alcohol to try to numb a pain which was making everything way worse. Way, 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 way worse. So I just want my story, hopefully it makes sense. I know it's kind of a mishmash. I'm trying to piece things together. But if I could be the poster child for what not to do, I'll take it. Please don't be me in any way. And it's really easy to go down this tube. I'll say that. It's really easy. So I highly encourage you to find someone to talk to and get your feelings out in a healthy way, because alcohol, I've never been into drugs. It's not my thing. Not judging, just not my thing. Are not the answer either. That's just, you're just really opening up Pandora's box at this point. So we're all just here trying to learn and trying to get through this thing we call life in a healthy way. And something someone said to me once, they told me, feelings never hurt anybody. You can feel feelings. Yeah, that's true. Feelings never did hurt anybody. Alcohol did, drugs did, and eating disorder did, but not feelings. 1% better every day. Take care of you.
That's all for this episode of 1% Better. To continue the conversation, head over to our website at www.1percentbetter.ca, where you can access more stories and resources. We'd also love it if you subscribed and left us a review on your favorite podcast platform. And remember, friends, progress takes patience, perspective, and sometimes a little help from people who get it. So be kind to yourself and others as we work to get 1% better every day. We'll see you back here next week.